Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing great. Today I want to share a personal story from my farm that really opened my eyes to how delicate our food systems can be. It's not just about growing more food, it's about ensuring that food remains stable and accessible, even when Mother Nature decides to throw a curveball. Back in 2023, I was excited about my vegetable production project. I had planted all sorts of veggies like kales, mrenda, spinach, pumpkin, carrots, African nightshade, and even some maize. Things were looking bright until one day everything suddenly changed. I was looking forward to an amazing harvest, but instead I was faced with losses after a heavy rainstorm hit. Hailstones fell like darts, battering the farm, and within minutes, my vegetable leaves were shredded. Crops like mrenda were completely wiped out, and the ones that survived had broken stems. We tried to evaluate the hail-damaged crops to see if we could salvage them, but sadly, around 80% of them were beyond saving. So after a week, we had to plant new seedlings. Since the storm hit when the plants were still young, causing so much damage, it meant we needed to wait longer for them to recover. We added some manure to help boost their growth, but the wet conditions after the storm brought worries as they increased the chances of rot and diseases. This experience really made me feel how fragile food security can be, impacting all four pillars of food security: availability, access, utilization, and stability. Availability was directly impacted. Sadly, I couldn't provide food for myself or for those relying on my produce. Access was an additional struggle as the heavy rains damaged the roads, making it nearly impossible to reach the market. With poor road conditions, even if my crops had made it, customers couldn't get to the farm either. Then there was utilization. With many of my crops gone, we had to do with what was left. It wasn't only about having food, it was also about figuring how to preserve it for future. Unfortunately, without proper storage methods, a lot of what we managed to save spoiled quickly. This showed me how crucial it is to not just have food available, but to know how to make most of it. Lastly, stability became a big concern. After the storm, food prices shot up. The crops that survived were few, and getting fresh supplies to the market became costly, making food unaffordable for many families. This demonstrated how food security is not just about having enough food. It's also about keeping prices steady and manageable throughout the year. The hailstorm really disrupted that balance. However, rather than just focusing on the negatives, I saw it as an opportunity for growth. Enough of lamenting over the storm, and let's see the opportunity behind it. We learned a lot, and here we are with our veggies. Truly, nature is a great healer. They are becoming healthy. Now we know the do's and don'ts before and after I didn't give up. I learned a lot and discovered that some crops like carrots, cowpeas, and African nightshades are more resilient to hail. With the changing climate making farming riskier, I realized how important it is to diversify my crops as a strategy for managing unpredictable weather. So even if one crop gets hit hard, I'll have others to rely on. I'm also looking into better ways to protect my crops. For example, installing hail nets or shade nets could help prevent future damage, and planting windbreaks or trees around the fields could offer some natural defense against storms. While that storm felt like a huge setback at first, it actually highlighted the need for better preparedness and innovation as we face climate change. As I adapt, I hope my experience can bring some insights to fellow farmers who might be facing similar challenges. The goal now is not just to rebuild, but to create smarter, more resilient systems that can handle whatever comes our way. In the long run, these changes will not only help us deal with severe weather, but also improve our farm productivity. I'm learning to be proactive rather than just reactive, and the storm has pushed me to consider more sustainable farming practices. That's how we can strengthen our food system. Food security isn't just about dodging one bad season or crisis. It's about looking ahead, learning from our challenges, and ensuring our food systems can stand strong, no matter what life throws at us. The storm may have caused damage, but it also brought valuable lessons on adaptation and resilience, tools we can use to strengthen our farming for future. Thanks so much for listening to my story. I hope it emphasizes how important food security is in all aspects of life and why we need to stay prepared and adaptable.